I want to tell you the greatest encounter I feel I've ever had with the Lord. It was an awakening in how He deals in our lives. My husband and I had came out here from California. This is Arkansas, Springdale, Arkansas. And we hadn't been here long, maybe 6 months, and it was winter. And it was snowing, and we had a fireplace. I never had a fireplace in California, and it never snowed in LA. So I loved that fireplace. I would rush home from work and I would sit in that front of that fire and I would just watch the flames dance. And it was such a peaceful feeling for my husband and I just to sit there and watch that beautiful fireplace. Well, this one morning, I did as I usually do. I had my little habits before going to work, making sure the beds were made, making sure everything was in place, picking up an extra cup here, a glass there, just a quick run through, making sure things were fine. And and that's when I took and I would clean the ashes out and put them in a metal bucket and carry the bucket outside. Well, this is what I did. But as I turned around, the vacuum cleaner was at the end of the couch, and I had used it the night before on the carpet. So I thought, well, I'll just take it, and even though I was in a rush to get to work, it would only take me a second to give us this extra little boost of manicure for the fireplace. So I took and I vacuumed it. Then I was done, I put the vacuum back. But then without even knowing what I was doing, I moved the vacuum to the back of the couch. The couch was pulled out from the wall about 4 feet. So the next thing I know, I was moving that vacuum all over and not realizing because every time I run through to do something, I'd grab that vacuum and move it. So finally I got to the front door with it. And I opened the door, and in the front door, we went into the front porch, which had firewood on each side. We had a big path. So I walked through that, walked out the front porch door, took that vacuum and dropped it in the middle of the yard. Now there was all snow around in the middle of the yard. So I turned around, came back, didn't realize what I did, but I knew I had to get out of there, so I rushed then, got in my car and went to work. Well, I came home that evening. Hubby had started the fire, and I started our dinner, and I realized the vacuum was still outside. So I said, I got to get the vacuum, it's still outside. So I run, and I couldn't see the vacuum, and I says, Randy, somebody stole our vacuum. He started laughing. He says, who would come up here and take a vacuum when they can come in the house and get things that are of more value? So we went out there together, and there was nothing there but a little piece of hose and the clamp. That's all that was left of that vacuum. It had burned up. Well, immediately my eyes would open to what God had been doing to me and with me that morning, moving that all over. I could see myself then moving that vacuum all over and end up putting it outside there in the yard. And I just praise the Lord that He loved me so much that He would protect our home. Had we kept it in the house, it would have burned up the place. Had we put it on the porch, there, it would have burned up the place. And being out in the country, it would take a while for somebody to even notice that there was a fire going. And we did have trees around. And so by the time the firemen got there, it would have been all gone. You see, God really loves you. If you love the Lord, keep Him in your heart. I tell you, He rewards you. I'm always given rewards. He's always doing things for me. And I cannot even begin to say how wonderful He is. And He's a shield of protection. If you keep Him in your heart, He'll do the same thing for you as He did for me. If you ever, going to make a wrong turn, driving here, driving there, and everything seems to go wrong, and yet you get where you're going, maybe that was God slowing you down. Maybe He was protecting you, and you don't even know it. He's protected me all my life. I've never seen it in this magnitude of how He works, except that day. And I want you to know that He's there for you. Just invite Him in your heart. If you don't have Him, love Him, think about Him. He just wants to be included in your life. Keep Him in your life. Don't just pray to Him once a week. Think about Him. Tell Him He loves you. God bless you.